Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm making raspberry bars or raspberry squares. They're going to be made in a 9-inch 23cm square cake tin, which I have greased and lined with parchment paper. And these squares are gluten-free, and I think they're suitable for vegans as well. I actually saw this recipe in a little brochure or magazine type thing that Costco send out, or I received mine in the email. And the recipe doesn't contain flour or any gluten products, and it doesn't contain, from what I can see, any sort of animal type products. That's the main reason I want to make it. I mean, I love raspberries, and this has strawberries in as well, and I love strawberries as well. But the fact that the finished result would be suitable for people who don't eat gluten and who don't eat animal products. So for the ingredients, I have, first of all, for the raspberry filling, I have 125 millilitres, which is half a cup plus a teaspoon of water. Then I have 35 grams, which is a quarter of a cup of corn flour or corn starch. I have 240 grams of raspberries, and mine are frozen raspberries, fresh or frozen is fine. I have 100, and that is 2 cups. I have 150 grams, which is 1 cup of strawberries, which I have hulled and chopped. I have a teaspoon of lemon juice, 80 millilitres, which is a third of a cup of agave nectar. I bought that some while ago and have wondered what I'm going to use it for, so today is the day. And then I have 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Now these are what my supermarket calls white chia seeds. I also have black, so you can use white, black, or a mixture, but chia seeds. So that's for the filling, and I'm actually just going to set that to one side so that I can tell you about the ingredients for the base and the crumbled topping. And my raspberries are thawing, so getting water on the counter. So for the base and the topping, I have 120 grams, which is 1.5 cups of rolled oats. I have 225 grams, which is 2 cups of ground almonds. Then I have a tablespoon of corn flour, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, 115 milligrams, which is half a cup minus 1 teaspoon of agave nectar. I have 65 grams of almond butter. If you don't have almond butter, I think something like coconut oil, which goes solid when it's sort of at room temperature or cooled down, that would be fine instead. So that's a quarter of a cup. I have another quarter of a cup, which is 60 millilitres of a plant-based milk. Now in my case, mine is coconut and almond, because I tend to use that when I'm making my porridge, but almond milk, coconut milk, hazelnut, soy milk, any plant-based milk you want would be fine. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I have an additional 2 tablespoons of ground almonds. So again, that's for the base, but the first thing we're going to do is to make the raspberry filling. And to do that, I'm going to take a saucepan and I'm going to put my water into the saucepan, and then my 35 grams of corn flour, and I'm going to mix that together until it's nice and smooth. That's our corn flour and water mixture, and into that I'm simply going to put my raspberries and my strawberries. And then I'm going to put that on a gentle heat, stirring all the time, so that the corn flour doesn't go lumpy. And I'm going to leave it on that gentle heat as I stir it until it comes to the boil, and I'm going to boil it for 2 minutes, or simmer it for 2 minutes. That's going to soften the fruit, so that you could mash it if you want to, or you can leave it slightly chunky, which is what I'm going to do. So I don't think you need to see me boil that fruit, so I'll do that and then I'll come back. So the strawberries and raspberries with the corn flour mixture have been heated and it's thickened nicely. So then I'm going to add into that my 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, teaspoon of lemon juice, and the 1/3 of a cup, 80 millilitres of agave nectar. I'm just going to stir those around to get those mixed in. And then I'm going to set that to one side. I actually may turn that out into a separate bowl so that it cools down just a little bit quicker. And we'll go on to make our base for our topping for our raspberry squares. To make the base and the topping, we need to use a larger bowl, so I'll put the rolled oats and the almond flour and the salt and the corn flour into that bowl, and then we just need to mix those around. And then I'll set that to one side, and I'll take another bowl, and into that I'm going to put the almond butter, and the agave syrup, as well as my almond and coconut milk, and we need to mix those and get those combined. Oh, and sorry, and my vanilla extract, almost missed that. And once that's fully mixed, I'll add it into the dry mixture. I have my oven preheating, by the way, at 180 Celsius, which is 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. And then I'm going to mix that wet and dry ingredients together. With that mixture like that, we need to take about 3/4 of it and put that into the bottom of our pan. And with that in the bottom of the pan, we just need to spread it around to cover the base. And once it's been spread around and pressed down to be fairly flat, I'm going to put that into the oven, and I'm going to bake it for 20 minutes. Then I'll take it out and I'll come back and we will put the raspberry filling on and then crumble the rest of the mixture over the top. So I'll be back in 20 minutes when this base has baked. The base has now cooked and I've taken it out of the oven, and here it is. This is what it looks like. So I'm just going to set that to one side for a moment, and I'm going to take the remaining crumble mixture, and into that I'm going to add that additional 2 tablespoons of ground almonds or almond flour that we had, and I'm just going to mix that in. This will make the topping just that little bit crumblier. So that's good. So then what we need to do is to put our raspberry and strawberry mixture onto the top of our base, and this is still warm. And then that just needs to be spread again as evenly as possible over the base. I'm actually going to, without burning my hands, give that a little bit of a shake. That might help level that off a little bit. That's good. And then it's just a question of sprinkling our crumble mixture over the top. And that then just needs to be put into the oven and baked for a further 10 minutes. Then I'll take it out of the oven and I'll let it cool down for at least 30 minutes before I come back and show you the result. I let the raspberry bars or squares bake for 10 minutes once I'd put that crumble topping on the top. Then I took it out of the oven and allowed it to cool down completely in the pan. And once it had cooled down, I cut it and I've already tasted it, but this is what it looks like. So I could get, I think, I could probably get 16 out of this. You could actually make it as big or as small as you want. So I'll have a taste of this one. And as you can see, the base is nicely cooked, and the raspberry filling has set up a little bit. Maybe I would put not quite so much on in future. I'll have a taste. Such a lovely flavour, that raspberry, with a little bit of sweetness from the strawberry as well. It gives it a really nice flavour, and then you have the almonds in the base and in the topping, which give it extra flavour as well. So this has been a first for me, trying something with absolutely no dairy or no animal products at all, and I think it's worked out quite well. So I'm glad I found the recipe in the Costco Connections magazine. That's going to be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, give me the thumbs up please below the video, and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to this recipe, and I'll put a link for it below the video as well. And I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. I should mention that within a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours of the video going online, I will have been able to edit the automatic subtitles and then into more decent English, and then get those translated automatically into those other 11 languages that I mentioned on my last video. So that will be it for today, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.